Hey guys, this is Dayrod TC coming to you with another video. And just like the title says, this is my OP07 Rebecca deck list. The reason I'm showing this deck list is because I believe Rebecca is making a comeback this season. I think she's going to be one of the best rogue meta decks in this season due to the matchups. So what I can do first is we'll go over the deck lists, my rationales of the cards I picked, cards I'm thinking of switching, and then we'll do into matchups, the matchups you win, and then the matchups you lose. And then at the end, there's a gameplay video against Lucy. So for those who just want to see the gameplay video, skip the last 15 minutes. But you want to hear what I want to say, let's get started, okay? So leader obviously is Rebecca. She cannot attack. She's a 5-life black and blue leader. That gives you an effect that once per turn you rest one Dawn, you reveal the top 2 cards, you grab a Dressrosa type card, the other one goes to trash. Because she cannot attack, she's one of those leaders that you cannot just pick up and play to play effectively. You need to put some time in since she doesn't play as every other leader. The next is 2 Brooks. I think he's going to be a staple black card for anyone that wants to reduce costs, because on play your opponent loses 1 character cost. And then if there's a character with 0 cost, he pops it. If he sticks around, then when attacking, he does the same thing. -1 cost and pop a 0 cost. The main thing is he's a magic number 3, so it allows you combo well with the Rebecca when you need to. Next is 4 Olympuses. This guy basically reduces one of your opponent's character by 4, but you have to trash or KO one of your Dressrosa type characters first, which can be himself if you need to. When you do that, you do trash the top 2 cards from your deck, allowing you to build graveyard as well. The good thing about him is he's activate main, so when you play him, you can activate his effect right away, so you don't have to wait for an attack like Kuzan does. But in the end of the day, just because there's Lucy, and RP Law, you know Olympus won't stick. So knowing when to play him and how to protect him is gonna definitely be one of the main things you need to overcome to be a good Rebecca player. The next card is Kirus. This is one of the reasons why Rebecca is in this meta right now. This guy is a 3 cost, so magic number, right? Dressrosa type character, so searchable. On play, you can KO one of your opponent's character with a 1 cost or less, and then you trash the top card of your deck. But the main reason he's good is because he's a sticky boy. Homeboy cannot be popped or killed, because what happens is if you try to, you can decide to rest your leader to prevent the first pop. And if you have the Colosseum established, if they try to pop them again or attack over them, you're able to rest your stage to protect them again. Then they have to do it a 3rd time to finally get rid of them if you have the stage card available. Either way, even if you don't have the stage card, it'll be 2, right? Because then they have to pop them, and then you rest your leader, then they try again, then they got rid of them, unless you want to counter out if it's an attack instead of a pop. Point being is there's a lot of investment to try to get rid of them, so most of the time they will ignore you, allowing you to always have a body on the board, allowing you to control or poke your opponent's leader, right? The other thing is the combos well with Olympus, because you can, play Olympus or activate Olympus effect to Kirus. Kirus effects activate where you can prevent the pop of Olympus by resting your leader and still get the -4 effect. And that's why these guys combo very well. Point being is Kirus is, because of Lucy and Luffy not able to bottom deck, he just sticks on the board and it's a bad time for them. Unfortunately, RP Law can bottom deck him, so that's the only problem. But at least, hopefully, you can use his kill 1 cost or less effect effectively first with combos. So if they do bottom deck him, at least you traded a body for a body, and then just keep going from there. Very good card, definitely has a 4 of. Next is 3 Sabos. Sabo, staple card, man. I really don't have to explain it, but we'll go ahead. He's a 5 cost. On play, draw 2, trash 2, building your graveyard, unclogging your hand, and then he's a blocker as well, a 6K blocker no less, and he can prevent your field, the one that's already established, from being targeted or popped in your turn and then your opponent's turn for 1 full turn. This always feels good when you're playing against a Lucy player when you know they're gonna go for a full combo to clear your board, except for Kirus, of course. So then you play Sabo, and then they just be like, well, never mind. White 3, though, just because if you've seen my Rebecca gameplay before, you can always recur to Sabo with Rebecca Mancherry, or you can always bottom deck your Sabos to always draw them when you draw them effectively. So it feels like you're always running way more than 3. So that's why I just feel like 3 should be plenty, since you're always going to see this guy. Next is Solomon. So Solomon's a character that is a Dressrosa, always also the magic 3, so you can recur him. But on play, he gives your opponent -2 cost, and then if he survives, you can attack with him and do another -2. I honestly think I'm gonna remove him for a Hina. I mean, he is a 1K counter and he's Dressrosa, but I just think Hina does more work with a better stat line. I'm only using for the on play because most of the time they don't survive anyways. So that's my rationale why I'm gonna switch to Hina, and let me just show you guys. I mean, you guys all should know which one I'm talking about, but just in case, it's this one right here. So that'll be the one change I'm gonna do after this video. Next is for Bartolomeos. Basically, he's a magic 3. He has a Dressrosa type, so you can search him, and he's a 2K blocker. Nothing much to say there. Next is another main guy for Rebecca, which is Gear 4 Luffy. This guy is going to help you against the matchups of RP Law and Red Green Law. Basically, he can attack active characters, and then when you attack with him, you can return 7 cards in any order, by the way, to the bottom of your deck from your trash. And you restand them, and you can attack with him again if you want. So it helps you control the board. It can also end games. There's a lot he can do. He's searchable. He can be recurred by the 4-cost Rebecca. So I just think 3 is plenty with him. It's all you really need, and he does very, very well in those matchups. Next is 3 1-drop Rebecca. She's your searcher. On play, look at top 3, grab a Dressrosa type card, and the other 2 go to the trash. You could run 4, but I think 3 is plenty. Next is 4 one-legged soldier. 2K counter, searchable, and then if you play him, you can activate main, get rid of him to then -3 on your opponent's character costs. Next is a Mancherry. Mancherry, as a one-off because she's searchable, she's a 1K counter, and then she has a good effect to activate main, rest a Dawn, rest her, return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom deck in any order, and then return a 3 to 5 cost black character card from your trash to your hand, allowing you to recur Rebecca, Sabo, Kirus, Orlumbus, Brooke, Lucy, Bartolomeo, Solomon, anybody you desire basically, so that you can, depending on the state of the game, you can then go from there. So such a good card, and then if they do get rid of her, you can always get her back depending on your bottom decks. Next is 4-cost Rebecca. I mean, what more can I say about her? She's searchable with your Rebecca leader. On play, you can return 3 to 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 cost black character from your trash to your hand. And then the second effect, you can play a 3 cost or below from your hand, rest it to the field, allowing you to not only grab Lucy, Luffy, Sabo, Kirus, Orlumbus, Brooke, then you can play Kirus, one-legged soldier, Rebecca from Mancherry from your hand to the field, Hamepo, for free basically as well. Point being is she opens a lot of line of play, so definitely you gotta run 4 of. By the way, this 1-drop Rebecca does not search this 4-drop Rebecca or herself, but this Rebecca, the leader, does search both other Rebeccas, okay? Next is 4-drop Lucy. I mean, why not? One of the best black cards in the game right now. You can put 3 cards to the bottom of your deck in any order, kill 2 of your opponent's 2 cost and a 1 cost. And then, of course, when you combo with your cards, you're able to pop higher costs. He is not Dressrosa. He doesn't have a counter, so you cannot search him, but you can recur him with Rebecca and Mancherry if he's in the grave. And then, of course, you can always bottom deck him to draw him when you have to. Next is another staple black card, which is Gecko Moria. Just being able to grab 2 bodies, a 4 cost and below and a 2 cost and below, and then having an 8 drop 9K body on the field is such an amazing card. And of course, simple combos of Gecko to Rebecca to Helmeppo to Kyros to Papa 4 cost. Or Lumbus effect to Gecko to Rebecca to Helmeppo to Kyros pops at 8 cost. I mean, there's just so much lines of play you can do. Sometimes I feel like adding the 4-drop Kuzan and like do a 2-2 split with Orlumbus. Unfortunately, that will put me 2 more navies without a counter, but sometimes you just want to play a Gecko just to build tempo, so you can just play Gecko for tempo, then grab a 4-drop Kuzan, draw a card, and the 1-drop Rebecca to then give you a +1 plus a 9K body plus a cost reductor that they have to answer the following turn. That's only when you're in an advantage state, or if they just play Sabo against you. But we'll see. I mean, point being is Gecko opens a lot of plays and combos that you can do, so you might as well run 2. The reason running 2 is because you can't search him and you cannot recur him. He's an 8 cost, so he doesn't fit the criteria of Mancherry or Rebecca. But if both goes to the trash, you're able to then use Luffy to bottom deck him, and then you should guarantee draw him once you learn how to bottom deck your deck effectively and keep in mind how your bottom deck is looking like. Of course, in the sim, it's harder to keep track of your bottom deck, but in real life, it's much easier. Next is 2 Helmeppos. Helmeppo just, again, combos well with the Gecko, and even hard playing him for 2 costs to -3 costs gives you a high lot of play with your other poppers that you need to use. So that's why I like 2 Helmeppos. You could argue that you can remove the Helmeppos for Scarlet. Scarlet is a -2, but she's a Dressrosa, so you can search her. And then do other lines of play. So you can do like Gecko and pretend this is Hina, right? You can do Gecko to Rebecca to Hina to Scarlet, -4 with Hina. Then use Scar's effect to then pop the Scarlet, gives another -2, then play Kyros from hand, and you pop a 7 cost. It's just more combo that you need to have, which can become less consistent than already the combo itself. So that's the reason I like the Helmeppo more, just because like, Helmeppo can do much more, I think. But, for those that feel like you're whiffing a lot with Rebecca and want more Dressrosa cards, then you can argue that you can remove the Helmeppos for Scarlet if you want. All right, next is 4 Gravity Blade, the only blue card that we have in this deck list. I just think Gravity Blade is one of the best cards that you can have. It's a 7 cost effect that lets you put 2 of your opponent's character costs that are 6 or less to the bottom of the deck. Such a good card against Luffy, Law, the other Law, Lucy, Rebecca, Mirror Match, etc. It just answers so many cards because a lot of the main cards are 5 or less in this meta. And then the bigger bodies are usually 8 costs in this meta, unless you're playing against it now. So then you can then just play with Helmeppo or even play Tempest Kick. For like say you have 10 Dawn and your opponent has 2 Yamatos, you can then play Tempest Kick, draw a card, play Helmeppo, -3, and then you play Gravity Blade. You just bottom deck 2 9 costs because they both -3. You see what I'm saying? So it gives you a lot of open plays. Such a good card, and the reason we're running 4 is because it's not Dressrosa, it's an AV, so you can't search it, unfortunately. So you really just need to draw it, and then Sabo's gonna help you with that. But even if 3 of them are in the trash, you're able to recur them with Luffy, putting them correctly, and then you're able to draw when you need to in the late game as well. So that's the reason we run 4. The other event card we're running is Gum King Kong Gun. Such an amazing card. Basically gives you 1 of your Dressrosa cards plus 6,000. And if you have 14 cards in trash, because this card becomes number 15, it also gains double attack. So just to let you know right now, I mean, this is just a game ender, right? Because you can give it to Orlumbus, swing 11k double attack, and then swing with somebody else. You may want to give it to Luffy because then he becomes 13k double attack, and then you can restand him and swing again as well. And then just to let you know, this combo with Luffy and King Kong Gun just beats black yellow Luffy. There's nothing they can do. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Next is for Tempest Kick. Tempest Kick is such an amazing card that I just had to run in this deck. I mean, you just need to have 9 cards in the trash, because when you activate this becomes number 10, and you're able to draw 1 card, and then you give up your opponent's card -3. So you drew for free, and you give a -3, and then you can combo with all the other combos like I've mentioned before, allowing you to then do very well in the mid game or even the late game with the Gecko Moria as well. If you don't like this card because CP9 and it's hard to grab, or you just think it's a waste, then you can replace the Tempest Kick for 4 Gyats, giving you another 2k, and then you'll run 12 2ks. And Gyats has a good effect because you can give your other Dressrosa cards able to attack active characters for that turn. But I just love the Tempest Kick, man. I think the Tempest Kick pairs very well with, especially with Gravity Blade, Lucy, etc. So definitely try Tempest Kick before you don't. I just think this is going to be one of the staple cards for any black deck that wants to use like the effects of popping and controlling your opponent's board. And last but not least, 3 of the Core of the Colosseum, which is the Dressrosa stage card. It's searchable with both of these, and it's going to be the main thing that you need against RP Law and Red Green Law mainly. Mainly against every deck, but RP Law and Red Green Law especially, because it allows your Dressrosa cards able to attack characters when you play them. So that means if your opponent has a rested character, you had this out, you play Kirus, you're able to play Kirus, and then swing with Kirus to that character right away. And then it becomes more broken with Luffy, because then Luffy can attack active characters once you play them right away. So this is why I say Luffy is the main guy against RP Law and Red Green Law, because once you have this guy out, you play him, you start controlling the board, and then you restand them and attack again, and just keep controlling the board to the point that your opponent should not have a board state, as well as losing cards in hand until you start winning the game. And then when they answer him, like I said, you can recur him, or if you have another one in hand, and then just keep on going. And I'll explain that a little bit in more details. But that is the deck list, guys. Like I said, there's only one big change I really want to do, which is Solomon to Hina. The rest I'm still thinking about. But right now this deck runs very, very well in the matches. So let's go ahead and talk about them. So first is, let's say against Lucy, since I have him right here. Lucy does okay against Rebecca, but Rebecca has the advantage because of these 2 guys right here. They can't touch Kirus for no reason unless they want, like I said, invest all their tempo to try to get rid of them. So they won't. And then we all know what Sabo can do. He just shuts the Lucy down. And then all you do is you control the Lucy's board. Most of the time they don't try to use their Gecko to gain advantage, which is using the Span Dan or other cards to make them not lose cards in hand. They try to go for board clear, so they lose cards eventually. So as long as you keep answering the board and answering their big bodies, they will start running out of cards, and then that's when you start poking them down to the point that they can't answer the Luffy double attack, or even just the Gecko and Luffy out there to just end the game. So that's how you want to do against Lucy. Like I said, he could come back because of the Gecko's effects. Then if you can't answer their board, then there's a chance that you could lose. But most of the time, the Rebecca should have the advantage, able to answer the board basically all the time, because even if they try to Saba you, they can't stop the Luffy, and then they try to block the Luffy twice, and they lose their hand power. So that's why Rebecca has a good matchup against the Lucy. Gecko is even easier. It's the same process, because they kind of run almost the same list. So you're able to beat Lucy and Gecko at the same game plan. Next is against, let's say, Law, since I kind of mentioned him already. Oh, I can't even search Law. That's a shame. So let's put red. There you are. So both Laws, to be fair, all you really need is Colosseum and Luffy, like I mentioned earlier. Let's talk with Red Purple Law first, since he's one of the main guys. Basically, you don't attack their life, so they never get any more cards in hand. and you just have to answer a board as fast as you can, right? You want to go first so they don't gain that first attack advantage, and then you really want to try to find your Coliseum or your one drop Rebecca to then search the Coliseum. So then you can then have Kirus. Because then with Kirus and Tempest Kick, you're able to pop somebody and then attack somebody, and then you play Sabo, they have to answer the Sabo, and then you play Luffy, and then you clear 2 of their bodies. And while they're trying to attack you, you're always using your leader's ability to stay healthy hands so you can keep countering out to the point that they run out of steam. And then when they go wide, you gravity blade them. And then eventually you can just clear board with Gecko Lucy combo, or even Gecko Rebecca Kirus combo. Then you have a blocker that they have to answer. And then you can just clear board again the following turn. And then they run out of hand. And then you slowly poke them down so they don't just vomit on you again. And then you just beat them. And then once they're at 2 life with barely any hand, you can always just end the game earlier. You don't have to make it that complicated like I always do. I just like to guarantee the wins, but you can always just risk it a little bit. And once they're at 2 life, you can just always do a Luffy double attack and try to end the game a little bit earlier than you want. So you always have that line of play as well. So that's the advantage of Rebecca versus Law. With Red Green Law, it's even easier until they learn how to play against you. Basically, eventually, what they have to do is they don't play anything until they're at their sometimes 6, 9 times out of 10, 8 down turn, or if they go first, 7 down turn, because then they're able to vomit all the 1 cost, activate his effect, and then take it from there. But most of the time, they don't respect. So then they're just gonna keep playing. And you're gonna keep popping all their board, and then once they have barely any hand, then you just poke them down, and then eventually win the game as well. And then this guy just hits everything they play, so you always want to hit their 5-drop Laws as well as the Cavendish. So really easy game playing against both of these. Your best leader to go against that's the main guy is I had him right here. It's Luffy, Black Yellow Luffy. Black Yellow Luffy really has, unfortunately, one of the worst matchups against Rebecca, because as long as he doesn't draw like amazing, which is very, very rare, Rebecca's gonna dictate the match the whole time, and all you do is you never attack his life, just keep attacking his board, build board, and they can't really answer your board because first they can't never get rid of Kiruses, and then your Luffy and Gecko, they have to invest so much, and if they play big bodies, you just answer a big body right away, so then they can't combo with the big body. Like for example, some of them run 10-drop Kuzans, so as long as you answer the 10-drop Kuzan, they can't answer your Luffy or your Gecko Moria. And then once you're ready, you don't rush it. You then poke with Kirus. They'll definitely take the first life if they're at 4 life, so they'll be down 3. You can wait another turn, or you can then attack with 7 if you have another Kirus, for example, or a Lumbus. And then you can then end the game with Luffy King Kong Gun if they have no blockers. Or if they have blockers, then you have to just kill the blockers with Luffy, or just bottom deck them, which is the best thing with Gravity Blade. And then to the point that if they're at 2 life and you threaten with 13k double attack, they'll definitely take the first hit. And then you go again for another 13k when they're a 5k leader. And then they have to use their whole hand because they don't run any 0 cost. They have to run to 2k counters. So if they have all the 2k counters, we're talking about they have to drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from hand that are 2ks, or at least 4 2ks and 1 1k. And then you swing with a Gecko. And then, they usually lose right there, or they have no cards in hand. So then it doesn't matter if they activate Luffy's effect. But I'm obviously giving you a lot of scenarios, but there's just too many ways that they lose against Rebecca. And it's very, very rare that they have a winning condition. Doesn't mean that they can never win, but it's just a low chance. So that's just unfortunate for Black Yellow Luffy there. Next is Perona and Bonnie. Same thing. They can't really do much because you answer your board with on-play effects and not attacking. And then when you do attack, you're attacking with Luffy. And then you just attack again with Luffy. And then you just clear the board because they only play one those cards. Only Perona kind of could vomit a little bit, but most of the time Bonnie for sure is just playing one card at a time. So you just keep answering their one card at a time, and there's really nothing they can do. So that's how you play against Bonnie, Perona. Just easy matches there. Yamato can beat you, unfortunately. Yamato, but you have a winning matchup though still because Yamato. Oh no, I got rid of a Coliseum. Um, the thing with Yamato is that they can sneak win you by doing a double attack banish twice, and if they do that twice, then you're pretty much done. And then even if you don't let that go through, if you let the first hit go through and you get too many cards in hand and you can't play your cards and you can't activate Rebecca's ability, then it slows you down too. So then you can't do combos later. So you just need to learn how to play when to counter out against a Yamato, especially in the early game. And then once you get to late game, you win the game. So that's how it goes. If they beat you very early, like especially on their 7 dawn turn, then there's nothing the Rebecca player can do. But if you survive their 7 dawn onslaught turn, then you should win the game. So it's a close match, but no, the more match you do against Rebecca or the one that's more knowledgeable in that matchup should be the winner. Who was am I missing? That's the meta decks. I think that's the main ones, right? So that's the winning meta deck matches, which as you can see, it's a lot of them. That's the reason I'm telling you that Rebecca is going to be a very good contender because you're hitting a lot of the main leaders that are known as the meta cards, meta decks, right? But the two decks you definitely lose to that are also considered meta decks is Boa and Enel. Boa, just because she's mono blue, and as we all know, mono blue is the kryptonite for Rebecca, and it still is. There's really nothing much you can do. You're basically the black yellow Luffy against Rebecca in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the match is dictated by the Boa. So the only reason you win is because either the skill gap between you and the Boa is very very different, where you're a higher skilled player versus them, and then you took advantage of that. But then it doesn't count technically because then if you played against the same skill level or they're higher than you, then you should lose. Or they just drew abysmal, and even if they drew abysmal, there's still a chance that they can beat you. That's how that's how that's how the matchup goes, right? Because that's how strong Boa is against the Rebecca player. So point being is, if you go to your locals and there's multiple Boas, do not play Rebecca. That's and technically that goes like in any blue matchup, right? I mean, if somebody throws in a Crocodile still or even a Dofi, they technically should also beat the Rebecca player. So yeah, any mono blue meta is just not the Rebecca's time. But the good thing is Boa, even though Boa being a meta, you can technically dodge it because not a lot of people play it, and if they do, it's not that many because they play the other stronger meta decks. So there's the chances of you fighting a Boa should be lower than the other decks, giving that's why giving Rebecca a chance to be in this meta. Unfortunately, the other meta deck that beats Rebecca is Enel. Um, it's just how yellow is. They got a lot more support. The Enel deck is very, very strong, and you can't finish them off because of Enel's leader's ability. And then they're always gonna have a card like the 10 drop ace or the Yamato to get the life if you do get it down to 0, causing you to start over, giving them another chance to come back on you. So basically, the Luffy King Kong gun combo is not effective against the Enel, unfortunately. So, not saying Boa is the worst one. I know you do have a chance, but Enel has a greater statistics of beating you, if that makes sense. So you do have a chance of beating that now, but it's still in their favor, just because of on how much good cards they have in that deck and how much big bodies. Technically, it's just the big bodies, Katakuri, Yamato, and the aces. Um, so this version of Rebecca does answer some big bodies, but not a lot of big bodies. Not like the old version where we ran Red Rock plus Bastardo that's able to answer their 10 drops left and right, causing you to win the game. In this case, You do have some cards that answer big bodies, but it's mainly to answer 8 drop and 9 drops. The 10 drops you can maybe answer 1 or 2, but once you are answering 9, 8, and 10 drops multiple times, you're gonna eventually run out of steam. And not only that, you're answering the big bodies and not putting enough pressure in there now. So even though you do answer the big body, they're still higher in tempo against you. So then they're still poking you down, getting you to a point that when you do answer them, you're still they still have a chance for lethal. So then you still lose, if that makes sense. So that's the reason it's a hard matchup. I think the only way is if they don't see their big bodies, and if they do, it's like 3 or less. If they see 3 or less, you have a chance, especially if they can't answer your Olympuses. But if they start seeing more than 3, like up to 5 at one point, then the chances are very low. Like their Olympus has to stay on the field. They can't be answered by Gedatsu or the Yamatos, or they can't get categorized as well. Like they just have too many answers, unfortunately, for the Rebecca player to consistently win against a no. So I can definitely put a matchup of Enel and Boa to show you how how easy it is for them to beat us. But if you had a choice, I'd rather fight the Enel than the Boa, because then you still have a chance somehow. So that's the matchup, guys. So those are your winning matchups. Those are your losing matchups. Still, if you go into a tournament, I mean, other than now, the Boa I wouldn't worry about too much because I haven't seen too many of them yet. To notice that you're gonna definitely play them into the matchup, but that now you're definitely gonna at least play a couple. So definitely getting your practice against it now if you do want to focus on Rebecca. But if you have a local, or if you feel like there's a treasure cup that's gonna run a lot of Nels and Boa, then I wouldn't play Rebecca for that tournament. But hopefully most of the tournaments are gonna run the other leaders like I mentioned. We should expect RP Law, Lucy's, Moria's, Bonnie's, so that's where Rebecca has a chance to win that tournament. Going first or second with those matchups, is Rebecca can go either or. That's a good thing about this leader, that you can go first or second and it feels good. So the best thing you can do with that type of leader is just take your opponent's favorites, right? So you're playing against Lucy, you take his second. Playing against Luffy, take his second. Playing against RP Law, take his first. Red Green Law, you can go actually either way. I'd like to go second against Red Green Law because I want him to, if he doesn't know the matchup, make him start playing cards so I can pop him. But if not, you can take his first as well. Who else? Perona, take her second. Bonnie, I'd rather take the second over the Bonnie. And Nell definitely take his second for the 10 drop ace. I don't know. Boa maybe go second just to get the extra drop power to help you out. But yeah, that's it. If you know the matchup and know what the opponent prefer to do, just take theirs. Unless you definitely have a preference, or if you alter this deck list to a different playstyle, then you might have to change it depending on that as well. But that should be it, guys. Those are the rationales, those are the matchups. Let's go ahead and go to gameplay. Alright, guys, so here's the gameplay video of Rebecca versus Lucy. I win the dice roll, so I go second. You want to go second against the Lucy to get rid of their curve. So go ahead and draw. I'm always going to activate Rebecca's ability so you can get that +1 and then get obviously a card advantage that you need. Grab Sabo, definitely good in the matchup. And then I play the stage card, setting me up ready for the Q assist to not get popped. Remember here the objective is to spam Q assist and Sabos on curve and get rid of their big boys. Oops, let me get rid of that. Here I expect them to swing double 5k. I'm going to go ahead and counter out here. There's no reason to take the hit. I'm probably going to use Rebecca as the counter because the Sabo is just important to get your ball rolling. And we run a lot of Rebecca, so we'll see her later. So double 5k, I'm going to use the 2k here because I prioritize the Sabo more. And you're able to get rid of that useless Coliseum in hand as well and get rid of something else later. You want to use your counter early, even over counter, because then you're able to activate Rebecca's ability like I'm doing now. So you can keep getting the hand advantage, getting more cards in trash and better cards in your hand. Able to play Kyros here to pop the Span Dam. And then also build trash. I have another Kyros and trash ready to go for later, because again, magic number 3, you're able to grab it with Rebecca, or as well as Moria in the late game. On his turn here, he should play Sabo, unless he didn't draw the Sabo, which right there he tells me he didn't. I don't have a 2K, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that hit. Since I'm a 5 life leader, we can just get the extra card to our hand. And that still lets me to play my Rebecca's ability next turn, because I can play Sabo. He plays Khalifa, which is the next best thing, since he's able to draw 2, discard 2. Since he didn't draw the Sabo, just getting better cards in hand. So same concept, that's what he's doing. For now, he does, since he skipped a beat last turn, he does have more card advantage here. So against a Rebecca player, if you are the Lucy, you want to continue to have a hand advantage. It's the only way that you have a chance. But anyways, let's go ahead. In my turn, I draw, play the Sabo. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the Coliseum and probably the Brook, because Brook does useful in the trash. Magic number 3 again. Swing with 5K. He's gonna definitely take this, keep a lot of cards in hand. And then we're gonna go ahead and activate Leader's ability. No reason to play the 1-drop here, just because again, you wanna be able to get more cards, so then you can counter out when he's gonna swing with 5K here. So now you can counter out 1 Rebecca and use the other Rebecca as the searcher. Here he's gonna definitely swing 5K with Khalifa, no reason not to, and he has to attack me, not my Kyros, because Kyros cannot be popped or KO'd unless he wanted to use a lot of investment just to kill that Kyros and waste a turn. So that definitely won't. I'm gonna go ahead and block with Sabo. You might as well use the Sabo while you can, because you already know in the Lucy matchup he's gonna get popped after his effect runs out. So he's gonna swing 6K here at life. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 2K Bartolomeo here. Again, using my hand so I can use my Leader's ability. But most likely next turn, he plays a 5-drop Sabo, draw 2, discard 2. So definitely I'm gonna play the Luffy here, allow me to play him for 7, put 1 down on him, and swing 8K at that Sabo. So I can't use my Leader's ability because I'm going to use the extra Dawn to swing for the magic 8. Mainly because if he does counter out, he's going to use 2 cards. I'm going to go ahead and restand and swing again. So he's definitely going to let this go through. There's no reason he's going to counter this out unless he's not that good of a player. So I expect the Sabo to die. And he's thinking about, there you go. Swing 5K to Khalifa, make him use a 2K. And then swing Sabo to it, but he gets rid of it, so then I swing Sabo to life. Again, main point is I expect the Luffy and Sabo to die on this turn. Definitely hard to do unless he has the 8-drop Sabo, which it'll be a lucky draw for him, because you can't search it with the Lucy. It most likely has to be a Tempest Kick into a Lucy type of combo, or even Brook, Rebecca into even a Spanding to maybe no, he had to have multiple Tempest Kicks here. So if he doesn't have Sabo, he'll need multiple Tempest Kicks. If not, just 1 Tempest Kick into a Sabo can get rid of the Luffy and Sabo. Obviously he has to attack with Lucy to get the -1, of course, right? So there he goes, -1, puts it on the Luffy, because then he can Tempest Kick, put him down to 3, and then Sabo. So he must have the Sabo. I counter out because no reason to take that hit. It's a 5K, so use the extra Rebecca, Tempest Kick. So yeah, he's showing me he has Sabo. He trashes his card in hand, so it does minus him at least. He gets rid of Stussy, just because I guess he can't get rid of my board, and then gets rid of both my board there. So unfortunate there. I did draw my Tempest Kick, so I could get rid of this Sabo as well, but I don't have an Orlumbus, unfortunately. So I'd rather not use my Gravity Blade because I can get rid of the Sabo and something else. So I'd rather just wait a turn. So here I should just play, since I'm at the 10 down turn, I should activate my Rebecca's ability and swing with Kyros first and see what he does. So there we go. Go ahead and grab definitely another Rebecca. Definitely a good hit there. So you always want to swing with the Kyros first, because if he activates the Tempest Kick trigger, he can't kill the Kyros. There you go. And he hits the trigger for sure, since it's taking a second. And he techs 6 King Pistol, which is not bad to run since you run a lot of big boys. So he draws another card, unfortunately for me. So here I'm going to play Rebecca to grab Sabo, to then play the 1-drop Rebecca for free, and then play the Sabo, giving me another card in hand with the 1-drop Rebecca. So like another combo you can do. I was thinking of Kiru's just because Kiru is so OP in this matchup, but there's no reason not to grab the Sabo to play the 1-drop. And so you not only get the 1-drop search, you get the Sabo search as well. So it's just such a good combo here. So there you go. Definitely gonna grab the Kiru's here. And then play the 5-drop Sabo. I mean, it really doesn't matter because whatever I play, I'm gonna play the 5-drop Sabo and then fix my hand again. So there you go. So definitely getting rid of the Kiru's and the Bartolomeo here because I'm prioritizing the Rebecca. Just because of a combo like that, Rebecca just allows you more options, and I can grab the Kiru's from my trash as well. So it should be, yep, Bartolomeo and Kiru's. There you go. You could keep both Bartolomeos as double 2Ks and just run with 1 Rebecca left because we're doing very well because we had the Tempest Kick and the Gravity Blade ready for his turn. He can't Moria me, so what he's gonna do, he's gonna Moria for tempo mainly, just so he can have a 9K body. Definitely block with Rebecca here. You're gonna, because you know there's no reason not to block with Rebecca since you know it's gonna get popped the following turn. So blocking Rebecca, taking the 9K hit just so I can pressure with Sabo. Grab a Helmepo, even better. And then there you go, there's the Moria. Moria's gonna play Rebecca to grab a card to hand, and then Spanding to grab another card to hand, giving him a +1. Well, technically a +2 with draw, right? So you actually start out with 2 more cards in hand now. So this is what you want to do with Lucy again against Rebecca. This is the only way you have a chance against Rebecca, is doing what he's doing. Since you can't really pop the field, then it's not worth it. Here on my end, I'm gonna do Helmepo to -3 on one of the cards there. There you go, Moria, and then Tempest Kick the other Sabo, putting them in range for Gravity Blade, bottom deck, both of those big boys. And now we're back in the game here. And then we'll go ahead and swing 2K to the Spandine. He shouldn't protect that. And then 5K to life. And then 6K to life. He's going to block with Rebecca because he knows that Rebecca is also vulnerable to just get popped. So might as well just use her while you can. Very good play there. So you should use a 1K and then block with Rebecca. And that should be the play here. I guess he's thinking what, 1K? I don't know why he's thinking. Maybe he left the computer for a second. There you go. So he used that since he knows. I mean, that's not. I mean, maybe he probably didn't have other 1Ks up in hand, or probably it's Rebecca. So other than that, swings 6K, blocks for Rebecca, and then pass turn. I expect here another Moria turn. And then for him to pop my Sabo and my 1-cost Rebecca, or even Helmepo, but most likely Rebecca, because you really don't want to pop the Helmepo if your opponent doesn't have another Helmepo in trash, because so then they can't reuse them. So he swings 6K. I'm gonna have to give him a 2K here with my Bartolomeo, staying healthy in life. We're still even 3-3. He -1 on the Sabo, so I expect the Sabo to get popped here with a Moria combo or a Lucy combo, since he hasn't played any Lucy's yet. Either way is fine because I have the Orlumbus, so Orlumbus can be played out, pop my 1-drop or my Kiru's. Kiru's prevent the pop to lower the Moria, and then I play Rebecca. Well, actually, no, I'm missing a card here. Don't have to double. Yeah, it depends on what I draw. If not, I just use Luffy actually. To go over the Moria. So he Tempest Kicks the Sabo, so definitely Sabo's gonna go bye-bye. So I'm just waiting for that Moria play. There it is. So Moria is gonna go into the combo. So Rebecca into Spandine, into regular Spandine. Well, he should play Brook here. So either way to Brook, and still gets a +1 with a regular Spandine, so that's not bad at all. Because he doesn't need to get the Helmepo, so he just gets a Spandine to at least get a 1-for-1 trade up in hand, and you actually just -1. I actually went even because of the draw. So here I draw a Tempest Kick, so definitely I can do the Orlumbus combo here. So first we're going to use the 2K swing there. Get rid of that. We'll swing 5K to the Brook, make him use the Rebecca blocker. There we're going to play Orlumbus. Or do I want to activate my leader's ability? That's what I'm thinking. Because I do have enough Dawn, right? 8, 9, yeah, I have an extra Dawn. Or I can use the extra Dawn for a Meppo. That's probably what I'm thinking. Yeah, just making sure I'm counting out my Dawn correctly. Which does take some time in both ends of Lucy and against Rebecca. But yeah, I have enough Dawn, so I can either activate my leader's ability or give a Dawn to a Meppo to swing over the Brook. And most likely the swinging over the Brook is the better play because it's making him use a card in hand. So here we go. I just pretty sure count it out. That there's some double checking. So it should be Orlumbus into Orlumbus effect, -4 to the Moria, Tempest Kick, draw a card into a Kirus, or Rebecca into a Kirus. So -4, get rid of the 1-cost Rebecca. You could keep the 1-cost Rebecca in the field, but you're gonna need a spot because you're gonna play Rebecca into Kirus. So there's no reason to use Orlumbus on the Kirus to rest your stage card, potentially a way for them to actually get rid of your Kiruses. So that's the reason I chose the 1-drop Rebecca there. And there you go, there's the full combo, get rid of that. And then there's the extra Dawn to put on the Helmeppo to attack over the Brook. He should give me a counter here. There's no reason why the Brook will die here. And I guess he's just weighing out his option. I mean, unless he only has 2Ks in hand, he doesn't get rid of 2K, but he should protect his Brook. There you go, Spandine. And then then I swing over with Orlumbus. Remember, even I forgot. Remember the stage card gives your on-play characters that's the Restarosa rush. So then you might as well swing with Orlumbus just because you know that Orlumbus is going to get popped this turn, unfortunately. If the Orlumbus does not get popped, it just gives you way more options to play, especially with the Brook and Rebecca in your hand. But we do have another Orlumbus, so it's not going to be a big deal when he does pop it. But he's definitely going to pop the Helmeppo and the Orlumbus here, since he can't pop the Kiruses. And then when he swings, I'm going to use Rebecca as a blocker. So there he goes. He's just showing me that, hey, I'm going to pop your Orlumbus with the 4-drop Lucy, because he has not played any 4-drop Lucys yet. Again, not because he doesn't have them, it's because there's really no value of playing the 4-drop Lucy in this matchup, since he can't pop 2 things effectively with it because of Kiruses. So here he does it now just because there is a Helmeppo and an Orlumbus to pop. And then I expect him to play a 5-drop Sabo, because if not, he would have swung with 6K. So 5-drop Sabo will be the next thing he's gonna play here. Yep, protect his field, so now I can't pop it with the Orlumbus combo here. So I'm gonna just pray out Luffy to then swing twice with Luffy, so that's the play. The good thing is once you're at 10 Dawn, you're able to activate still your leader's ability, get, again, cards in hand, build your trash, and then here's the important part that I talked about in the video. Not only swinging with 8K with Luffy, but mainly putting the 7 cards to the bottom of your deck. So you want to count how many cards you have left in your deck. I'm pretty sure it was 9. So you got a bottom 7, so that at least once you get rid of the 9 cards, then you know the next 7 are going to be the cards that you're going to bottom deck. In this matchup, I'm going to probably bottom deck definitely a Sabo. So there he goes. He goes ahead and takes the Sabo hit. I'm going to go ahead and restand and swing over Lucy. Here I want to prioritize on Sabo, Tempest Kick, Amoria, and Tempest Kick, Gravity Blade, King Kong Gun, and a Luffy should be the options here, because that's my win conditions. Sabo, Luffy. I did Luffy first, so Sabo, Luffy, Tempest Kick, Moria. It's harder in the sim for me to keep track than in real life. So there you go, Tempest Kick, Moria. So now I know if I see Sabo and then Luffy, then I know the following will be Tempest Kick, Moria combo. King Kong Gun for the Luffy that I put already in there, and then it should be Gravity Blade and probably another Tempest Kick. Yeah, and that just gives me another option to get rid of their big body with Gravity Blade and Tempest Kick. Swing another 8k. He protects the Lucy this time, which is fine, but I guess he has no choice because his hand was only 2Ks. We're gonna go ahead and just poke down. He should take a life and then then counter out the other one. If not, it'll be game. So he's definitely gonna counter here and then pass turn. So showing me that he has another Moria in hand basically. I obviously should play the 1-drop here because I have the extra Dawn. No reason not to. Again, trying to get close to that last 7 cards since I already have it lined up. So now I went from the 9 cards down to 6 cards. So I'm in total 13, right? So I need to get rid of 6 more cards and then I'll touch my next 7 card to end the game. But pretty much this is GG. There's really nothing much he can do. He's gonna have to pop this Luffy. Or try to swing over it. Those are 2 options, but he's most likely gonna try to pop it. So there he goes. He swings 5k. It's gonna lower my Luffy. If he can't pop this Luffy because he miscalculates or doesn't get the cards he needs, then he should have just swung over it. But then he just feels like it'll be a waste of turn because he wants to play a blocker, I'm assuming, due to the Kyrus's pressure. So obviously we don't take these free hits. We're gonna go ahead and give him a Brook since we can recur the Brook. He's gonna swing 7k. We will take that one, go down 2 life. No reason not to. Unfortunately, it's a Coliseum, useless at this point. There he plays Lucy to pop my Rebecca. I don't think he pops my Luffy here because he didn't. I guess he didn't have any more Tempest Kicks in hand. So he's bottom decking the cards he needs, popping my only 1-drop Rebecca here. That is unfortunate. So Luffy stays alive, so then now Luffy can put in more pressure. Does play a Sabo, so it does help him out there, but then now my Luffy can restand and swing over the Sabo basically for free. The next 7 cards you still want to, just in case, put the important ones in the bottom of the deck just in case you go past your other 7. But you really don't need those other 7 in this matchup because it shouldn't go into double 7 in the bottom of the deck. It should just be the first 7. Here I'm just seeing, okay, I mean, I'm going to restand Luffy, definitely activate my Leader's ability, get closer down. So I'm down to 3 cards left. Grab a Kyrus for sure. Play the Kyrus. I mean, definitely, there's no reason not to play Kyrus here because he activated his the Sabo. So that puts me down to 1 card. So then the next card will be the last card, and then I go into my next 7 that I already have lined up. So 2 cards from now, you should know it should be Sabo. So then I restand the Luffy, gonna swing 8k to the Sabo, and then the Kyrus that you just played, you want to focus that one to attack the rested Lucy because it can't attack a leader. And then you want to have enough Dawn to then play their Rebecca as well, or you can actually just have enough Dawn to play the man share and grab a 2k or a Sabo. To be honest, either one is actually fine. So 1 Dawn to the Luffy. I don't know why I'm taking so long. There you go. And then swing over to Sabo. He shouldn't protect the Sabo unless he goes down to 1 card in hand. There you go. Because I expect him to have a Moria in hand, right? One of them is definitely a Moria in the hand. Swing 6k here. And if he does counter out here, then I have to go 6k again against the Lucy. There's no reason not to. There you go. And then I should go the activate leader's ability. I did already activate leader's ability. So I should go 7k here. Just to make him go down to 1 life. So then I can end the game. And then pass turn here. I could have just went 6, but I think I changed my mind. I was like, you know what, let me just guarantee to get him down to 1 life so I can just end the game. Because I have 3 Kyruses, right? So that means he has to play another blocker, either Sabo or Rebecca. If not, it'll be GG's. He's definitely gonna have to clear this Luffy, which I don't see how he cannot this turn. This turn he should have Moria, because remember we bottom decked the Moria, so he should have drawn it by now. Unless that was the Moria, but nah, he should have another Moria. There's no way he doesn't. We're going ahead and then just counter out with our Lumbus. Swing 6k, we'll give him a 2k. And then I expect Moria to kill my, oh, yep, Hamapo into Moria, there you go. So my Luffy is down to 3 costs, plays Rebecca into another Hamapo, 0 cost, play a Spandine into Lucy. You could do Brook here, to be honest, but he probably just wants the Spandine's effect to just get another 6k body, just because it's end game here anyway, so the game's gonna be over soon. So this is like the strongest board that he can do, but again, the 3 Curses just can't be touched. Unfortunate. So the next card I draw here should be Sabo. So that just, once I draw the Sabo, then I played Rebecca into Sabo, guaranteeing the win when I just poke with 5Ks here, because he only has 2 cards in hand. So here we go. Yep, there's the Sabo. So the next card after that is Luffy. It should be Luffy into Tempest Kick are the next 2 cards. So if I play the Sabo, I should be able to get the Tempest Kick ready to go, and then into a Moria. But there's no reason it gets that far. I should end the game basically after the next. He's gonna have 1 more turn unless those 2 cards are dead cards. But I expect those 2 cards to be 2Ks. So we're just gonna go ahead and poke with 5Ks. And then I could swing a 6K to be honest as well to a Lucy, but we're just gonna try to go for game first. So let's see if those are dead cards. So 1 2K, second 2K most likely. Oh, there you go. So now I'm gonna have to clear the Lucy. So I'm gonna put 1 down on probably on the Kirus, swing 6K at the Lucy. This is gonna make him block with Rebecca. And then I play my 4-drop Rebecca, grab a 2K in hand, and then play the Sabo, and then that guarantees the win. And then the Sabo can probably swing as well. Now I might be a trash player and play Sabo first instead of Rebecca. Do I just do that just to make a point that I win no matter what? Nah, I do that because I'm trash. That's why. There's no reason not to play Rebecca first and then to Sabo, because you guys know you have to play the card first and then your Sabo protects what's on the field. So if you do it the other way around, Rebecca cannot be protected. So look at that, I'm trash. So I had to get rid of the, was I off 2 cards? Oh, so that was the Sabo, that's the bottom. So the next card is Luffy after this Sabo. So I miscounted by 2 because again, it's not real life. So I thought that was already 9 cards, but I guess it was 7. So unfortunately, I do the plan, except I messed up. I should again play the Rebecca first, then the Sabo. I'm drawing a 2K here. And then I pass turn. Either way, it's fine, because even if he does pop the Rebecca here because of my misplay, all you have to do is counter 2 attacks, and 1 being on Hamapo. So he needs 3 attacks to go through. So the Moria is definitely going to go through if he pops my Rebecca. And then the next card you want to counter that you want to let go through will be another. It has to be another 10K. Since I already have a 2, 3, 4, 5, I have a 10K block, right? So he needs to swing a 9K to 10K, and then the other 2 don't go through, right? So he could maybe split it where he swings 9, well, not even, because if he swings 9, 9, 9, right? Because then he has to put 4, 3, then the Hamapo is only a 1K swing, so it won't be enough. So when he swings 7 here, I think I block with Rebecca just to make sure that I didn't mess up here. I was thinking about it because again with the misplay, I have to block with the Rebecca here because he could get popped and then I waste that card. If not, that Rebecca would have just blocked the Moria and then I would have been in a safer spot. But again, your boy misplay there. But it's fine here either way. There's nothing he can do now that he swung with the Lucy and not pop the Rebecca. So I just have to take the Moria hit, the other big boy hit, and then counter one of them. And that should be game, guys. So hopefully this showed you the power of Q resist and sidebows against the Lucy matchup. This is basically 9 times out of 10 how you play. There is, like I said, that 2 out of 10 that Lucy could come back and beat you. So like I said, out of the Black Yellow Luffy and RP Law, Lucy has a chance to beat you. But you have the advantage like how I showed you here. So if you guys want to see more Rebecca gameplay against other decks, please let me know. If you want me to actually pilot the other decks, please let me know. And I will post those videos definitely and get excited for OP07, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys like this deck list, and Dave TCG signing out.